Hi, my name is Bob Hill, and I'm the president of the Church of Scientology, Mission of Riverdale at 308 Broadview Avenue in Toronto. Now today, this is Sunday Service 71, so we're moving along. We're going to take up the subject of study. Why study? Study means to look at and consider in order to know more about and be able to use what you learn. Scientology means knowing how to know. Study is very important in Scientology. Now look at that datum. The word Scientology means knowing how to know. There has never been a valuable technology on how to study. So how could people possibly know how to know if they don't know how to study? So Mr. Hubbard, who is a considerably intelligent man, figured out a technology on study, and we're going to be taking that up today. So did you know there is an exact technology? Well, you can use it to improve your life. Today I'm going to be taking, to do the sermon, from the Scientology handbook, the chapter on why study. And you can get that handbook by contacting us here at the Mission. We'll give you the address and so on at the end. So why study? Now, with all the emphasis placed on education in our society, it is remarkable to realize that there has never been an actual technology of study or a technology of education. Now, education in its purest form was supposed to be giving people an ability so that they could think more freely and their minds could absorb more information. Our education system today is more of a system where we are training people into a pattern of operation as opposed to letting them have knowledge so that they can make decisions correctly and function well in life. So this study technology frees you up so you can think more clearly, so when you read something you can evaluate what's correct and what's not correct. So that sounds very far-fetched, but it is true. There was a school technology, but it didn't have too much to do with education. It consisted of technology of how you go to school, how you get taught, and how you get examined. But there was no actual technology of education or study. Lacking such a technology, people find it difficult to achieve their goals. Knowing how to study is vitally important to anyone. So take that datum there. If you study and you hope to achieve a goal, let's say you want to be a really good car mechanic, but you can't study. So today, you have to be able to learn computers to be a car mechanic. So what would happen over the years if people don't learn how to study properly? What will happen in our society? Well, I think we're starting to see some of the fruits of that now. Buildings are being built that don't stand up. People are having a hard time figuring out why is that. We have engineers. True, we have engineers, but did they actually duplicate what they were studying? Key point. So the first little gate that has been opened to embark upon study is the willingness to know. So you have to be willing to know. So the first thing, are you willing to know? If you think you know everything already, well, that gate's a little bit closed for you because you won't allow yourself to know. If that gate remains closed, then one is liable to get into such things as a totally memorized word-for-word system of education, which will not result in the gain of any knowledge. Such a system only produces graduates who can possibly parrot back facts. That means they just repeat them like a parrot, but without any real understanding or ability to do anything with what they have been taught. For what purpose then does one study? Until you clarify that, you cannot make an intelligent activity of it. And that applies to just about everything in your life. It's important to step back and examine the purpose. Why am I doing this? Why am I studying this? Why am I trying to learn this? If you don't have that purpose in place, then you won't really get anything out of it. Some students study for examination. The student is thinking to himself, how will I repeat this back when I am asked a certain question, or how will I pass the examination? This is complete folly. It's foolish. But unfortunately, is what many students have done in our current universities. Take the man who has been building houses for a long time, who one day gets an assistant who has just been trained in the university on how to build houses. He goes mad. The academically trained man, academically means he's only read the theory of it. He's never actually done anything hands-on with the study. So the academically trained man has been studying it for years, yet knows nothing about it. And the practical man doesn't know why this is. The practical man is the guy who went to the job site, may not know how to put up a wall or anything, but somebody gave him a hammer and said, this is how you swing a hammer. And then over the years, he gained more and more practice. Next thing you know, he's building a wall. Well, he can't understand why the guy that went to the university walks on a job site and can't put up a wall. Well, the reason why is that the man who just went through the university studied all of his materials so that he could be examined on them. He didn't study them to build houses. The man who has been out there on a practical line is not necessarily superior in the long run, but he certainly is able to get houses built because all of his study is on the basis of how do I apply this to house building. Every time he picks up an ad or literature or anything else, he is asking the question throughout the entirety of his reading, how can I apply this to what I'm doing? So that's a little bit of the study technology that we have available. We actually have an exact procedure that will teach you how to study. And you can learn more about that by reading and getting the whole chapter from this book, the Scientology Handbook, and get the chapter on study. That will help you. And it will also help you spiritually, because as you become more knowledgeable, you reach out more, you become more awake, you become more alert, you become more conscious. As you become more conscious, you take on a little more. And that's right, you become a bit more responsible. So things start to change in your life. Okay? Take that with you. I'm going to end this sermon today with the prayer for total freedom. May the author of the universe enable all men to reach an understanding of their spiritual nature. May awareness and understanding of life expand so that all may come to know the author of the universe, and may others also reach this understanding which brings total freedom. At this time, we think of those whose liberty is threatened, of those who have suffered imprisonment for their beliefs, of those who are enslaved or martyred, and for all those who are brutalized, trapped, or attacked. We pray that human rights will be preserved, so that all people may believe and worship freely, so that freedom will once again be seen in our land. Freedom from war and poverty and want, freedom to be, freedom to do, and freedom to have. Freedom to use and understand man's potential, a potential that is God-given and God-like, and freedom to achieve that understanding and awareness that is total freedom. May God let it be so. Thank you for listening to me today. Our church at 308 Broadview is now open. You can come in for a limited number of people and do services here. We have certain protocols in place, of course, but you're welcome to come in anytime. And if you'd like to attend a Sunday service in person, just call 416-789-1889 to make an appointment. See you next week. Thanks.